What's up, guys? Welcome back. Now, the Nintendo Switch Mini or new Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch Pro, what have you, it's been all the rage. It's exciting. We've been figuring things out as we've been going along here in the past year. And now we actually have real products to discuss here that are actually physically being made, invested money in by product manufacturers. And this is for the Nintendo Switch Mini, or what may actually be the Switch 2 Mini version of Nintendo's next version of the Switch. And we'll get into that as we discuss here, but this is very interesting. And this information was leaked by a reputable website known as winfuture.de. They are a German website that leaks manufacturer retail accessories for products such as cell phones and even game consoles, for example. They also accurately leaked the Xbox SAD edition, the all digital edition, correctly on their website. Now it appears they have leaked basically legit accessories for very well-known manufacturer products for game consoles, smartphones, what have you. They're known as Big Ben. I'm going to leave links to their website in the description because they do have these pictures watermarked by WinFuture. So these are basically belonging to them, even though they're belonging to, Nintendo and Big Ben, but they are the only site on the internet to actually have this product in question. So when you take a look at it here, this is a real product. It is a real Nintendo Switch Mini case by Big Ben. It's called a silicone glove, protective silicone. And then if you look closely at the bottom there, bottom corner, you can kind of make it out there, but the website does bring out that it does say Mini Switch 2. So you would think if this was just a slimmed down version of the current Nintendo Switch, they'll simply call it Mini Switch or Switch Mini, but they are specifically calling it Mini Switch 2. And it's interesting to call it Mini Switch 2 because this looks like very clear wording by Big Ben here, is that they're saying this is a Switch 2 that is a mini version of it, so a Mini Switch 2. If they were to call it a Switch Mini 2, that would be kind of confusing, right? Because then that could mean that they were having multiple different regular Nintendo Switch Minis. They could theoretically call it a Nintendo Switch Mini 2. But like I said, that wouldn't make any sense unless they're releasing multiple different sizes of the Switch Mini, like a super tiny Nintendo Switch, like Nintendo Switch Tiny, of course. But that wouldn't make any sense really because they already have a Nintendo Switch, and then they would have the Switch Mini version, and then of course they would have the enhanced Switch Pro model from what you would think would be a Pro model. But if you've been following this channel, I am pretty much the only channel on YouTube that has brought out time and time again that the correct actual wording from Nikkei and the Wall Street Journal has been very similar to each other. Now, I have saved this information, not coming from me, so let's go ahead and go over it really quick here to refresh your memories, because whenever I talk about exclusive games on the new console, for example, I always get the same type of comments thrown back at me. Oh, Nintendo would never do that. But when you go by what the Wall Street Journal and Nikkei have actually said, and they are the prime reputable websites reporting this information, not anybody else, but those two are the prime big credible websites that are reporting on the new versions of the Nintendo Switch. So what exactly did they say? Again, this is not coming from me. So Wall Street Journal said the new Nintendo Switch enhanced model would be for avid gamers, not as powerful as PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, and that the upgrade is not similar to how Sony did with the PS4 Pro. The design of both models, the enhanced version and the small version, is different. You'd be surprised. This is what Wall Street Journal says. And Nikkei chimed in and said it's a full model upgrade. And then some confusion came out of that Nikkei article, of course. It said that one developer at Nikkei talked to was unclear on how far along the more powerful Switch was, but the Wall Street Journal updated recently that both are now in production. Wall Street Journal and Nikkei both have only rumored 2 new Switch models, not 3. So both Nikkei and the Wall Street Journal are very similar in what they have said. The upgrade to this new Nintendo Switch is not similar to how Sony did with PS4 Pro, and you'll be surprised at the design of these models, even though the actual physical design is not necessarily surprising. So they could be actually referring to the design of the internals of these consoles could be surprising, which would be specs, right? But that's just a guess on my part. And then, of course, we have the Nikkei article saying a full model upgrade. Now, the reason why I'm saying that with the specs part is because we see here Mini Switch 2, which would be, the iterative edition of the Switch would be the next model. And Nikkei saying full model upgrade. And then, of course, we have the Wall Street Journal saying the upgrade is not similar to how Sony did PS4 Pro. So we could be seeing something like I've been talking about here for months now. You guys know this if you've been following me. is that this upgrade may not be normal, it may not be something that we're used to, it may be something different because of the time frame of the Nintendo Switch and when it was released in the market in March 2017, towards the latter half of the PS4's lifespan, and they are the leaders in the market. So they've already announced their PS5, Xbox has announced their Xbox Scarlet, which is coming out both in 2020. So if this is in fact a Nintendo Switch Part 2, this would actually allow Nintendo and AAA third parties to release exclusive games, of course, because it is a Switch 2, not a Switch Pro. This would basically give them free reign to release whatever game they want on this new version of the Switch and not have to worry about forcing a port on the old version of the Nintendo Switch if they don't have to. That is the main argument I've had with people, is that, hey, a Nintendo Switch Pro, Nintendo would never allow developers to put exclusive games on that console because it would have to run on the original Nintendo Switch because it is only a Switch Pro. But I've heard other people say also, if it was actually a full model upgrade or next gen Switch, then of course people would expect it to have its own game separate from the current model of the Nintendo Switch. So like I've been bringing out, the very reason that Nintendo was late to the party, quote unquote late, or kind of this in-between strange time frame for the Nintendo Switch, the original Nintendo Switch being released in March 2017, and with the next generation coming out in 2020, if, and I say if, this is in fact a Switch 2, which the sticker on that box says Mini Switch 2, logic suggests, or basically common sense suggests, that the Switch 2 would be the more enhanced, more powerful, full model upgrade that is not similar to a normal type of upgrade from what the Wall Street Journal and Nikkei have hinted at. So, Switch 2, Mini Switch 2, those are two consoles. Of course, we don't have a lot of information on the Switch 2, quote unquote. We're assuming here that it's going to be called the Switch 2, but Nintendo may have its own name for it, of course. But Switch 2 would represent a next generation Switch or a model upgrade. Like the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 1, there was a significant upgrade, of course, in the visuals and even the game design. But I do believe all PS2s could in fact run the original PlayStation 1 games. And I have to remind you guys that Big Ben is legit. So this does look like it's real, and they would not put a sticker on there by mistake like that. That was worded very clearly. It's a Mini Switch 2. So it's very unlikely that that is a mistake. If you look at Big Ben's products and accessories, they are extremely professional. They are not some Chinese knockoff brand. They are legit, and they are the real thing. For them to have a mistake like that would not really make sense. And on top of that, to word it in that way, to make sure they didn't say Switch Mini 2 or just simply Switch Mini, they purposely named it Mini Switch 2 or Switch X or Switch Next Gen or whatever Nintendo wants to call it. So things are actually aligning. The information from Nikkei, Wall Street Journal, and now Big Ben all aligns to make perfect sense when you think about it. If this is a Switch 2, that would allow for next generation games from the PlayStation 5, if it's powerful enough, of course, if it's a big enough upgrade, of course. It would allow for all those things, plus be backwards compatible with the original Switch. And due to the timing of the release of the original Switch, this all makes sense, it all lines up. So whether or not you choose to believe is up to you guys, but I'm just laying all the information out there, and you can believe whatever you want to believe. But it looks like this is legit information, and we could be getting a Nintendo Switch 2 and a Mini Switch 2, which would signify a next generation Nintendo Switch platform. And this would not be the first time Nintendo has done something like this with their handhelds. The Game Boy Advance was released in 2001, and just 3 years later they released the DS, which was far more powerful than the Game Boy Advance. And they had some competition at the time with the PlayStation Portable in 2004, both released at the same time 3 years later after the Game Boy Advance. So since we have PlayStation 5 coming out in 2020, Nintendo Switch was released in 2017 as Nintendo's home console, it does actually make financial sense that Nintendo would release their next generation Switch model early into the life of the current Nintendo Switch due to the timing of the release of the original device in March 2017. But before you go crazy in the comment section, this does not, I repeat, this does not mean that they abandon the current Nintendo Switch. I do think the current Nintendo Switch will still be getting support by Nintendo all the way up until 2022. Its full 5-year lifespan, and of course developers, third parties will be putting whatever games they can run on the original Nintendo Switch still on that console until its full life is over. But with the 3DS dying, Nintendo was obviously going to have an in-between life cycle here. So this new Nintendo Switch, these new models are going to be overlapping it going into the next generation from what it appears to be. Like I said, guys, things are lining up. It's getting really interesting. But I want to know what you think about it in the comment section. Let me know what you think about all these things, guys. If you think this is exciting, or are you worried about it, or you simply just want Nintendo to announce it finally like I do. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more. I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day.